Hi, welcome to my allotment update. It's the beginning of December. We've had a couple of really cold nights. I've been doing some clearing. I have some plans, long-term plans for making decent compost. Because this heap, it's going to be pretty difficult to get it out of there, and it's kind of just an emergency situation. Right, so I've been cropping from here these beautiful purple sprouting broccolis. The leaves are really nice and tender. I need to do a bit of weeding in here. I don't think I'm going to be doing any more pruning on my black currants because they've already started to bud. They've already started to put buds on. But I definitely need to do a little bit of weeding in here. So this morning I've sorted this soil out here a little bit. I've raked it and put some old potting compost on there, and I've seeded it with some lawn seed. And I've just fenced it off a little bit just to remind myself not to walk on there. I found this beautiful piece of ironwork near the allotments a few weeks ago, and it's not really in a good condition to be growing plants up it, but it's perfect for my canes. So I think what I might do is just rub it down a little bit and then put some clear varnish on, just to protect it a bit longer, because it's really beautiful and I love that colour. So I won't rub the colour off, I'll just rub a bit of the rust off very gently. So here it's an ongoing saga. It's still leaking like crazy. We've done all sorts of faffing about with it, but I think what I'm going to have to do is try and get some new plastic or something to go on there, because there's just way too many holes, and I don't think silicon's going to do it. Silicon sealant in the holes, and loads of them are still on the bottom of the trench for the corrugation, so they still just totally just channeling out there. So yeah, I am looking forward to getting this properly rainproofed, this little bit here, because otherwise it's a real waste for all the work that we've done on it with all the woodwork, and it's not cheap. Timber's really not cheap, so I really would like this to last. I can't see this lasting a year the way it is at the moment. So I think I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and try and sort that out properly. So down here I'm really happy with the strengthening of the pergola. I think that's going to work really well, because we also want to have, I would also love to bring a hammock down for really warm summer days. So around here I've chopped the Cape gooseberries down. I have tried to clear the nasturtiums a little bit from the ground there, and I'm going to be slowly taking this dead hedge away to prepare for Cape gooseberries there in spring. The ground's incredibly sodden because we've had some incredibly heavy rain, just ridiculously heavy rain. The water butts filled up really, really quickly. So I'm just showing you a view of the woods, and it's such a beautiful sunny day. Really gorgeous sunny day. So the greens in here are doing well. I'll be able to do a really nice big crop of spinach soon, and chard. That's going to be really good. My plan is just to do a little bit of weeding in there, but it's too wet to go in there today. Do a little bit of weeding in there, and then mulch it as well. I'm very pleased that lots of my garlics have come up. I've counted 9, so that's pretty exciting. Hopefully they will not get any kind of those mites and all the things that make him go squishy and horrible. Just walking around showing you what's going on around here. The pond is nice and full. We've had so much rain. Not much growing in it at the moment. These have come up and I'm not sure what they are. I need to look them up. I bought a couple of different pond plants and a few didn't sort of come up, so I'm wondering if it's one that I planted a few years ago and now it's just decided to get going. So yeah, I love the reflections in the pond. I think at some point I would like to make the pond a bit bigger, because I really do enjoy watching the pond and it's so good for wildlife. Let me show you what's going on in the polytunnel, and I'll show you the view from here. So that's my little warm sunny seat. Well, when it's sunny it's lovely and warm in the polytunnel, and when it's raining it's a really good spot to come and shelter from the rain. These little seedlings are going well. I'll be putting them into these big ones into this big tray soon, probably in a week or 2. These salads have got going. They've only been in there a couple of weeks, so I'm not expecting them to, be able to crop them anytime. Maybe in a month's time I'll be able to do some crops. Watercress is really getting going. It's not enough to crop it yet. These chards in here, Swiss chard, I'm hoping in about a month to be able to start cropping them. These are the Cape gooseberries that I've saved in the pots and I've fleeced them up. So I'm hoping to get some plants out early next year, in the ground earlier, and fleece them up really well. But again, I will not put all my eggs in one basket. I will keep a few behind just in case we have some really heavy frosts, which the fleece doesn't help with. So this is my problematic compost bay. A friend has a community compost scheme going, and I'm going to ask her if I can maybe take part in it, because she's got a fantastic system. I can't remember what it's called, but it's really, really good. It's rat-free compost making, because at the moment the rats definitely do feel like they're in a bit of a hotel over there, which I really don't want. But at least they're further away from where we sit. Berries are still on the holly tree, which is surprising, because in previous years they've kind of gone pretty much overnight from being full of berries to empty, and I think that's the wood pigeons. Something really beautiful happened the other week when I was sat here. I was sat in my little shelter, which is almost like a little hide. My little shelter there, and when I'm in there the birds and all the creatures kind of forget I'm here, which is wonderful, because what happened was a whole charm of goldfinches descended on my allotment with the most gorgeous trilling singing all over my plot, and they were just eating all the little, they were sort of just on eating these seeds, and yeah, just like that's meadowsweet. They were just perching on the tops of all my little plants that I've left in, and just eating all the seeds. It was absolutely wonderful. I couldn't believe how much food they found on here. So I'm really, really glad I didn't chop everything down. I'm really glad I left all the seeds on, because they're perfect for the tiny birds. That was really lovely. So yeah, I'm just kind of coming down when I can. I consider this a third space. Like I've said before, I don't have money for public transport or socialising. So coming down here, chatting to a few people, getting some food is absolutely essential for me. And I'm so grateful that we have these allotments. And I like to think I make good use of mine. And yeah, it's just a wonderful place to come and sit, because I live in a flat, so it really is wonderful to come down here and enjoy the bird song and the millions of planes overhead. I don't enjoy that. That terrifies me. The implications of the total lack of any kind of seriousness in the peril that we're in. You know, flights are still advertised widely, just fancy a weekend here, fancy a weekend there, which is kind of obscene. But there you go, that's my thoughts. I think that we should be living slower, living within our means, living within the planetary bounds, and start doing some actual repair to the planet and to the population and to our society. We've had antisocial governments for far too long. So I'm ever hopeful that with all the knowledge and understanding that we have, that some positive change will happen. And I come down here and celebrate what we still have, and really hope and do everything I can to try and ensure that my grandchildren have a livable future. You know, a few years ago that would have really sounded dramatic, but with everything happening, I think unless you have your blinkers really firmly strapped in, you're going to notice that things are changing, and we're not doing anything to adapt. And that's, like I said, is incredibly anxiety inducing. But coming down to allotment, gardening, being in nature, appreciating each other, walking around, talking to each other, I think that's the antidote to so much division and hatred, and just, I don't know, I just don't really understand. But anyway, I suppose given where I grew up, I should understand, but I don't understand greed. I don't understand people feeling that they're better than somebody else just because of where they were born or where they popped out. But there you go. So thanks very much for watching. I'm not sure I'm going to put this one up. I'll probably lose loads of followers just for pointing out a few basic facts. But anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.